the hedges, where conference momentum can gain serious speed. Georgia is starting to walk the walk. High hopes cranked up after that classic win in South Bend. But they now face a breakthrough player. Georgia native Nick Fitzgerald returns home with the #1 scoring offense in the league. And his proven quarterback whisperer head coach has that certain smile once again. We've got 3-0 Bulldogs times 2. Hail State and Silver Bridges. It's a double dog dare of an SEC challenge right now. What better way to spend your night than with ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. So glad you're with us from Athens. First cross-divisional matchup on the SEC schedule, both 3-0. Number 11, Georgia, taking on 17th-ranked Mississippi State. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, and we'll check in with Holly Rowe in just a moment. First time Mississippi State and Georgia have met as ranked teams. Should be a real good one. We saw Mississippi State last week, the blowout of LSU. That got all the hype bubbling up. The trendy team now, Mississippi State. What's the read on them?
Well, they were impressive last week. They were fast and physical on defense. They executed almost flawlessly on offense, but that was at home. Now, can they do it 2 weeks in a row? Can they do it on the road in a bigger stadium against, I think, a better defensive opponent in the Georgia Bulldogs? They do that again, they're legit.
Hey, Nick Fitzgerald's a good dual-threat quarterback. Jake Fromm, a confident true freshman quarterback for Georgia. But they've got something to deal with, each of them opposite them.
Well, there's two defensive players in this ball game that are both offense wreckers, and you better have a plan for them. For Mississippi State, it's their nose guard, Jeffrey Simmons, 6'4", over 300 pounds, very athletic. You better make sure you got a couple bodies on him. And for Georgia, it's Lorenzo Carter, an outstanding pass rusher, a long and athletic guy on the outside.
Georgia won the toss, they deferred. Mississippi State to receive as Blankenship will kick away. Well, let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Nick Fitzgerald was destined to become a Bulldog. He grew up not far from here in Athens. In fact, his grandparents, Jim and Brenda, lived just about 20 minutes away from this stadium. His dad went to Georgia, and he always went to Georgia football camps, but he was overlooked by the Bulldogs. He is now playing as the starter for Mississippi State, and he said, I'm coming in with no chip on my shoulder. I understand why they didn't recruit me, but he has something to prove tonight. His coach, Dan Mullen, said, though, he has talked to Fitzgerald and said, if you make this game bigger than any others, you'll be making a mistake. See if he can stay calm, cool, and collected in his homecoming tonight.
The SEC Offensive Player of the Week, Nick Fitzgerald. And this is Harris Williams taken down by Lorenzo Carter. Impact Players are brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Williams is coming off actually a huge game against LSU. He had 146 yards rushing. Donald Gray is the senior leader of the offense. You just saw Carter. He's among the SEC sack leaders, and Roquan Smith, their leading tackler. 2nd and 21. Williams, as he is wrapped up after a gain of 1.5 yards by John Atkins, the senior nose tackle.
Georgia's run defense has been outstanding so far early in the season, and a good first possession here. 3rd and long. This is where you want to put Mississippi State and Nick Fitzgerald. Make him beat you throwing the ball from the pocket. You got to pay attention to Lorenzo Carter right here, one of the premier pass rushers in the SEC, and Davin Bellamy on the other side.
There is Carter, 3 sacks already this year, 12.5 in his career. 3rd and 19. As they'll go with a middle screen to Williams, safe play, and you can see how fast that Georgia defense is with pursuit.
Yeah, the play was made by Roquan Smith, their middle linebacker. He's the heart and soul of their defense, and he's one of the fastest guys out there.
There is Jake Fromm, the freshman quarterback, the 19-year-old getting ready to make his 3rd start. You see what he was able to do as a high school star. He was a Bama commit. He was also a Little League World Series star on ESPN back in 2011. playing for Team Georgia, who made it to Williamsport.
I would expect to see Georgia come out throwing early to loosen up this Mississippi State defense and then get it to their running backs.
Of course, the deepest and most talented group of running backs in the land. Flea flicker to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin. Into his hands. And guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Only his 7th catch on the season, but 4 of them for touchdowns. That's a pretty good percentage.
It is Saturday night. It is under the lights. And that's what SEC primetime ball looks like. Passion, intensity, and a little razzle-dazzle. The Frosh Fromm to Terry Godwin. Hook it up for 59 and a touchdown lead on the first play. Georgia jumps out on their very first offensive play. Terry Godwin.
Well, when we talked to Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator yesterday, he said when we went to Notre Dame, we had to play conservative. It was Fromm's first start on the road. They knew they were going to have to be more aggressive tonight. And what a beautiful way to start for the freshman quarterback.
Second touchback of the night for Rob Blankenship as we look at All-State's all-hands in play. First down play action. As the pressure came in, and he was absolutely drilled that time by Smith.
Watch the timing of Roquan Smith. He's going to wait till the back clears and then come on a delayed blitz because there's nobody to block him. Once that back carried the fake out and went outside the tackle box, Roquan Smith came on the blitz and hit Fitzgerald right as he was getting ready to throw the football.
As Sanford Stadium roars, 3rd and 5.
Now it becomes a matter of math.
Tried to get the slant again to Gray, but it goes incomplete.
What I mean by that, Joe, is if they have too many numbers inside to run the football where you can't block them all, then you throw one-on-one coverage. That time he had a one-on-one matchup, but the ball too high, and they have to punt the football.
Flea flicker to Godwin on their first offensive play, and thus 7-zip.
You got both Sony Michel and Nick Chubb in the ball game right now, the two most dynamic players.
And straight up the middle is DeAndre Swift, the freshman from Philly for 12.
I made a mistake. It wasn't Michel, it was DeAndre Swift who was in there along with Nick Chubb. They are finding ways to get him the football. Even though Michel and Chubb are seniors, DeAndre Swift has demanded more touches because of his talent. And that was a unique way to get him the football with Nick Chubb in the game as well.
Now Chubb is in the I formation with Payne as the fullback. Fromm with time over the middle and gets it complete to Wims.
Wims is the big body receiver. We saw Godwin with the touchdown catch. Wims the biggest of the receiving corps at 6'4". And Jake Fromm has a lot of confidence in him. Again, maximum protection. Keep the backs in, keep the tight end in, and hit the crossing route to your big receiver. Chubb will get it this time. It's time for him to get the football and enter the fray.
And here is the second all-time leading rusher in school history and doing exactly what he often does. And folks, if you ever get the chance to go online, watch the SC feature story on his family's historic hometown.
As a kid, you hear Chubbtown, I would see Chubb Road, and I would hear stories about them working hard and never giving up. That's incredible during that time period for African Americans to be free. Not only that, but for them to come and build their own community and start their own business was even more impressive.
but also a very dynamic running back. A little different style than Chubb.
3rd and 5 for Fromm. And complete to Godwin again, who spins his way inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, Georgia.
Well, outstanding pass protection for Jake Fromm here early in this ball game. Sony Michel stays in to block. Little delay route by Godwin on the crossing route. Excellent execution. The tight end Nada did a nice job of clearing out the space behind him.
Strong start for Fromm, as Michel is tackled by Des Harris.
I thought they would come out throwing early just to kind of loosen up this Mississippi State defense, because they were coming in expecting run. The best players on this Georgia team are the guys that line up in the backfield. Right now, this plan of Jim Chaney being executed by Jake Fromm is putting this defense back on their heels a little bit.
22 personnel in, fullback, as well as 2 tight ends who are very dangerous to the left side there. 2nd and goal with Chubb as the back. Here's the pitch. Chubb keeps his balance and scores it. Career touchdown for Nick Chubb, and a good job paving the way by Christian Payne.
Yeah, Christian Payne got a beautiful block, and then Lashard Doer, the cornerback, came up to make a low tackle on Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb with some fancy footwork to elude him and get to the end zone.
Blankenship adds the extra point.
You don't see fullbacks too often, but in this offense with tailbacks like this, watch the fullback, Christian Payne, lead the way, and then watch the fancy footwork of Nick Chubb. Eyes up, see the defender. Defender doesn't see him.
Nine offensive plays for Georgia so far tonight, and 14 points on the board. And Todd, this is a different situation for Mississippi State compared to what they've had this year.
Yeah, they've outscored their first 3 opponents 143-28 coming into the ball game. However, the last time they were on the road at Louisiana Tech, they found themselves down 9-0 with 6:46 left in the first quarter. Right now, they're down 14 with a little over 6 minutes left. How do they respond?
3rd and 2 as he sprints to the right, looking. Fitzgerald was feeling some pressure, and that'll bring up 4th down. Seeing the depth of the running back core for Georgia's Harrion comes in. 2nd and 12 on the slant, complete. Hardman, he is so dangerous when he gets that burst, and he did so. To hit his stride here, he's missed on his last 4 attempts. Closing in on it was Baker, but holding on to it was Gray. Pressure being shown off the edge. A run blitz, and it works out well. John Atkins cleaned it up. Holly.
Well, Donald Gray, their top wide receiver, took a blow. He's had to be out for the last couple of plays as they examined him on the sideline. The athletic trainers taking a good look at him, and he's just put his helmet on and run back out. Guys, he is the heart and soul of their offense, the guy that plays with the most passion and gets everyone going. He is now back out on the field, and that's huge for Mississippi State.
It was that guy who gave him the shot, DeAndre Baker. 2nd and 10. Fitzgerald with time over the middle, complete in stride to Thomas.
Good pass protection. Nice clean pocket and a beautiful strike over the middle for the 1st down. A little momentum now for the Bulldogs from Mississippi State.
End of the first quarter. It started with a little magic from Georgia. The flea flicker as Godwin hauled in the 59-yard touchdown. Chubb added a touchdown run, and the home team is up 14-zip. We got a good one in the SEC in prime time.
Far tonight, a different task against this Georgia defense.
2nd and 7. As he had to dodge a would-be tackler in the backfield and then goes ahead for just a yard and a half. First guy to get in there was Tyler Clark, and then Baker got to him. 3rd and 6. What does Fitzgerald have in store? Back shoulder, incomplete. Baker had coverage on Gray.
This was a good throw by Fitzgerald, but just a better play by Baker. Baker's reading the wide receiver. As soon as he sees the receiver reach his hands up for the ball, he rips his arm up through there and knocks the ball out. He didn't know when the ball was coming, but the receiver told him when to make a play on it.
3rd and 2. Here's Fromm now. And his strong night continues with Jackson Harris moving the chains. Let's go to Holly.
Well, Jacob Eason, the returning starter from last year, who was the Week 1 starter for Georgia, is on the sidelines. He is back at practice this week after suffering that knee sprain in Week 1. This was going to present an interesting problem, although he probably won't play tonight. He should be healthy in the next couple of games. So what will Kirby Smart do? He said, you know, it's going to depend on practice. I believe this at every position. Whoever is playing the best will start. We'll see what that decision is down the road.
That's a rich man's headache for Kirby Smart. To pass on 1st down. He's been perfect tonight, and he still is. Javon Wims. 27-yard reception.
He has so much confidence in Wims' ability to go to the high point and make the catch. 6'4" receiver, underthrown intentionally, and allow him to use that big body and go vertical to make the catch.
From 6 for 6 to start his night. And he's still perfect, and it's Swift again.
This is one of the things they really like about DeAndre Swift is they feel like he has
a turnover.
Yep. Ball came out before he was down.
That's Jamal Peters jumping on it, and it's going to be Mississippi State ball.
Ruling on the field is a catch, fumble, recovered by the defense. 1st down, Mississippi State.
It's a nice route by Swift, and he just doesn't quite get the ball secured before he gets to the ground. The hit by Des Harris, number 11, is what jarred the ball, but was his knee down?
Field, a fumble is under further review.
Looks like his knee may have been down before the ball came out.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
That's Gerald Hodges who's upstairs as the replay official. Of course, they also confer with the video control.
Yeah, I can understand
SEC
that.
Headquarters.
I mean, that was just too fuzzy to make a definitive call to overturn it. Where the quarterback run, and what they'll do, Dan Mullen will do it from the sideline, Nick Fitzgerald will do it from the quarterback position, is just count numbers. If they go out to cover the pass routes, run the football.
Reggie Todd in motion on 3rd and 3. Fitzgerald, quarterback run, and he will have it just short. And Florida. Williams met right away by Bellamy. For 7, Lorenzo Carter. 6'6", and he can fly after the quarterback. Met right away. Good effort from Aaron Davis to Thud Mixon. Quarterback run as he's able to twist his way for extra yardage to the 42-yard line.
See, that's numbers. He counts. There's 5 offensive linemen, and there's 5 blockers, or 5 defenders, although Fitzgerald a little sore getting up at the end of that play.
2nd and 3 after the Fitzgerald run.
Georgia's done
Smith opposite him.
Really good job on Aris Williams so far in the ball game.
Fitzgerald with time. Good effort by Gray, and they're going to say incomplete.
Yeah, nice effort and good strong hands again, which we've seen from Donald Gray. Just couldn't get a foot down in bounds. Hey, what, DeAndre Baker's having a nice game so far tonight. He's their top cover guy. Foot down clearly, out of bounds.
Baker, who is tied for the team lead in passes broken up, could use a good effort from the DBs here on 3rd and 3. Fitzgerald trying to reach for it, comes up a yard short as Smith wrapped him up.
I think Mississippi State might go for this one now. Again, you've got a big quarterback, 6'5", 230 pounds. Too far for a field goal. You need something to happen for you offensively here before the end of the half.
4th and 1. A wall of sound between the hedges. Should be a first down Mississippi State as Fitzgerald seemingly just enough.
But you know what, Joe? Here's the thing. Nick Fitzgerald has taken some serious hits in this first half. We've seen him get hit when he's thrown the football, and here's another hard hit on the run. And I don't care how big he is, those hits add up on a guy when you expect him to kind of make throws throwing the football down the field. I think Dan Mullen, he might need to dial it back a little bit on how many design runs he has his quarterback carry the football.
First down Mississippi State. Remember last week he took a couple big hits on targeting calls.
Yeah.
LSU had a couple
hits
guys
to the
that
head.
were
2 guys
ejected.
disqualified. Yep.
There is Keaton Thompson. True freshman is the backup for Nick Fitzgerald. Of course, he's opposite a true freshman for Georgia, who's been sensational tonight with Fromm. First down as Williams and Fitzgerald in the backfield.
Single high safety suggests the ball needs to go outside. There it is.
And it is to Jesse Jackson as he's able to move it inside the 30.
Good read and throw by Fitzgerald.
First down throw here, thrown to the outside and caught, and then advanced that time by Aris Williams.
Good concentration by Aris Williams hanging on to that football. Aaron Davis put his helmet right on the football, right at the catch. And Aris Williams showing his strength and maintaining the possession and getting a second down and short situation.
And this is one of those drives where you say, boy, they need to come away with something. 2nd and 1. As Fitzgerald will have another first down, but to your point, more damage taken, hits after hits from these linebackers.
I think they got to go with some kind of a layer pattern to the open field where you have a guy running deep to the back of the end zone and a crossing route at about the 5-yard line. Try to stretch this Georgia defense a little bit.
Now, Thomas and Jackson are to that near side, the field side. 2nd and 10. They're going to keep it on the ground with Williams, who nearly shook free as he lunges inside the 10.
Joe, we were in Starkville last week, and there was a lot of question mark about their kicking game. Now, Jace Crispin did a nice job.
3rd and 5. Roquan Smith with the tackle.
Mississippi State tried to line up quickly. Georgia was not set, but it didn't matter because speed covers a lot of mistakes, and Roquan Smith was in the right place at the right time. All they had to have was one guy in the right place, and it was number 3. Other guys late getting set up, but Roquan Smith made the play, and the quick count did not work for Mississippi State.
So the first-year player, Jace Crispin, comes in for the field goal attempt. He attempted and made his first field goal of his career last week against LSU and made 2 more after that. 26-yard attempt. And he is 4 for 4 on the
6-yard drive. Tonight, a much more aggressive plan, and he has really executed well.
Michelle with the carry from only the 7th true freshman quarterback to ever start for Georgia. Now solving a big headache for Dan Mullen. Mississippi State is on the board. Hollies with Kirby.
Coach, what were the factors that went into going with a flea flicker on the first play of the game? It really looked good.
Well, we've been working it a long time. We thought it was there. They're really an aggressive defense and thought we might get some eye violators, and it was there. We got to do some more on offense, though, to move the ball and keep the defense off the field.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And thank you, Holly. Lots to talk about in college football today as we send it back to my man Adnan in the studio. Take it away, gentlemen. We welcome you back to College Football Primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton. Georgia's won the last 9 meetings against Mississippi State here in Athens, and they lead 14-3 at the half. That flea flicker really set the tone, and then boy, can that Georgia defense just run to the ball, Todd.
Yeah, you know, Mississippi State had 12 more plays than Georgia in that first half, but they only averaged 3.6 yards per play. Georgia, on the other hand, averaged over 9 yards per play, but that speed of the Georgia defense, I think, has been surprising a little bit to Mississippi State.
And you made the point, Smith and Carter and Bellamy, they get to the quarterback, they do damage. Fitzgerald likes to run the ball a lot, and he has taken some shots. Logan Cook to kick away as Georgia will be on offense to start this second half. Moments ago, Holly caught up with Coach Mullen.
About Jake Fromm. I watched not only the Notre Dame game and watched him on film, but I watched when he came in the opening game against Appalachian State when he wasn't expecting to play. Eason got hurt on the third possession of the game, and when he came in, he looked completely comfortable and running that offense and knowing what he wanted to do as a decision maker. I was very impressed with his poise.
Here's DeAndre Swift. Talk about a good-looking freshman. How about the Philly kid, DeAndre Swift from St. Joe's Prep for 21.
Little delay route. Watch the left side of the line. Watch the left tackle block out. The left guard get a block here. And then DeAndre Swift shows you his ability to accelerate through the hole. Good block by the tight end, Nada, number 18. And on second down and long, a first down run for DeAndre Swift. Is there a better name for a running back than DeAndre Swift?
So appropriate. Now he's subbed out, and Brian Harrion comes into the game, and Swift comes in motion to that H position as Harrion will have a good-looking run. They are so deep. Holly.
You said there's never been a better named wide receiver as DeAndre Swift. What I loved is his teammate Nick Chubb. We were asking him to describe the young freshman, and he said he's smooth. He runs just like his name, Swift and smooth.
And I think Chubb and Michelle, and now this true freshman, Georgia is loaded. And now the pitch to Harrion as well, and he is somehow gets free of the tackle of Gary Green.
That was a big run by Harrion because that would have been a loss of yardage play and brought up third down and probably 7 or 8. Ball out instead of making a tackle, and Harrion was able to get it up forward for a couple yards.
Chubb's going to come back in on 3rd and 1. Christian Payne also in.
Chubb's in the Wildcat.
Here it is, the Wild Dog. And he's got it blocked perfectly, and there he goes. Score it, Georgia. Another great block by Payne.
I'll tell you, the other guy who got a great block on that was a wide receiver, Jason Stanley, number 2. He came in and blocked the linebacker to start the play, and Isaiah Wynn, the tackle, pulled out to lead the play along with the fullback. Excellent execution out of the Wildcat formation or Wild Dog formation for Georgia.
Chubb's 6th rushing touchdown of the year. And this showdown has got a heavy lean towards red and silver breeches. Chubb, 21-3, Georgia. Not much there with Trenton Thompson clogging up the middle.
The challenge.
2nd and 9. Fitzgerald is going to go to Williams and met right away by Davis. They are running after the ball. 3rd and 7. Crossing route underneath. Not going to get it done. Osiris Mitchell met by Smith. Out there against Nick Fitzgerald and Mississippi State. Here's Hill. And he gains just about 1.5 yards.
Well, Nick Fitzgerald coming into the game, the focal point of this offense. Georgia knows that, and Georgia knows anytime they can put a hit on him, it might take a little steam out of this big quarterback. Whenever you decide to run your quarterback by design, you put him at risk of taking a lot of hits. And in that first half, Georgia put some licks on Nick Fitzgerald.
Here's Hill out of the backfield as he will be able to advance the sticks for Mississippi State. Fitzgerald. He had no intention of pitching to Hill that time. Just a gain of 2, run down by Reed.
Donald Gray needs to step up and make a play here from his wide receiver position. He's been quiet.
Perhaps an opportunity here. Fitzgerald has time, and it is intercepted by Baker. And he's got blockers coming down as he crosses midfield.
Well, Baker is right here. He's going to read this. His eyes are on the quarterback, which means he's not playing man-to-man. His eyes are on the quarterback. He sees where the ball is going. He comes underneath the throw. Nick Fitzgerald was fooled by the coverage. He thought it was man-to-man, and Baker read it, playing zone, and made Georgia's first interception of the season. They had been the only team in the SEC without an interception so far. They got it there.
Those golden spiked shoulder pads are celebratory for the big play made on the Georgia defense. Sony Michel.
Well, I'm just impressed with the variety of talent Georgia has at tailback. Yes, Jake Fromm has had a good game, 8 for 10 throwing the football. But they have so many different guys that can run the football. We've seen 4 tailbacks tonight. Sometimes we've seen 2 of them on the field at the same time, and they have all contributed in a significant way.
So Chubb and Swift looking on. And Sony Michel stays in. And he'll have some jumbo power with him as Christian Payne will be the fullback in the I formation. 2 tights as well.
They could give it to Payne here. They've done that on short.
Fakes the pitch from downfield, wide open, Nauta, and that's going to be a touchdown for Georgia.
We saw it on the first play of the game. Mississippi State convinced it's going to be run. And we saw it again right there. Mississippi State sure that it was going to be run on 3rd and short. Beautiful fake and execution by Nauta for the touchdown.
.41-yard touchdown reception for Isaac Nauta. Every which way tonight, including something special from the freshman quarterback. 28-3. Now Fromm came in with all the hype. Was one of the top elite 11 quarterbacks. Of course, that run by Trent Dilfer. Trent told us earlier today, he said, listen, Fromm is top 5 most pure passer I have had in my years of the Elite 11 and the highest football IQ. And think of the talent that Trent's had come through the Elite 11.
Now, outstanding football IQ, and you see that every time you put on film. The coaches talk about it, the players talk about it. Natural leader, showed that from day 1 when he enrolled early. The offensive staff putting a lot of pressure on Mississippi State now with those 2 quick scores.
Fitzgerald has time. Downfield. And Gray couldn't hold on to it as it was Baker who had the interception moments ago.
DeAndre Baker has had an outstanding football game. He's been in single coverage quite often. And he just is fighting through the football. This is the way Kirby Smart teaches it. It's the way Nick Saban teaches it. They fight through the hands and the arms. They get away with some contact, but they fight through to get the knockaway on a ball that could have been caught. It's just who wants to fight for it more.
pick up the pressure on the inside. As that is up in the air, and it is intercepted by Dominic Sanders. And this Georgia defense is just rolling. A flag is down at the 31. We'll check on that. As for now, another interception thrown by Fitzgerald.
Well, the play was made by J.R. Reed, number 20. He's the guy that knocked the ball up in the air. And Dominic Sanders, who just collected his 13th career interception, was the beneficiary by Reed's play.
After the interception, it'll go back in the back. Number 5, Georgia. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Georgia's ball, first down.
Take a look at this. Here's J.R. Reed here. He's the guy that is going to get his hand on the football. He reads the in route. He breaks on the football. He gets it up in the air. And Dominic Sanders, who has a nose for the football, finds it.
You know, it's interesting, that penalty there, because Sanders was closing in on a unique record. He came in just 20 yards away from having the most interception return yards in Georgia history.
Yeah, the penalty on Julian Rochester, sophomore defensive tackle. But there's the pads again, and this Georgia defense, we knew they were good coming in. They have been outstanding tonight.
We need something like that on our crew, Todd. We need some golden spiked pads for who does a good job. That is quite the look for the Georgia defense.
Openings in the run game, but tonight that's Sam Pittman, the offensive line coach, very well respected line coach in the SEC and in college football. He has done a nice job because this group is getting pushed tonight. They're athletic, they're not as big and as powerful as maybe they would like them to be, but tonight they are getting pushed and they're doing a great job of protecting the quarterback as well.
3rd and 11 for Fromm. Oh, that should have been caught by Terry.
Yeah, you can't
There
throw
have been a couple of those with Fromm tonight. The slant should have been caught as well, and he's got outstanding stats. Kirby said, listen, I treat it like it's 2 defensive linemen, 2 defensive backs, whoever's playing the best. Just because it's the quarterback position doesn't matter to Kirby Smart.
And that'll occur in practice. I mean, it's not going to be, we're going to split them up in games and see it's who plays most consistently and performs most consistently in practice. And Jake Fromm, who brought the competition in the summer, he's going to do everything he can to hold on to that job.
There's a 49-yard attempt from Rodrigo Blankenship. Of course, he had the big moment at Notre Dame late in the 4th quarter with the go-ahead 30-yarder.
He was crushing them before the game.
Right down the target line for Blankenship from 49. That was a big night for Blankenship, and with good reason.
Rodrigo Blankenship for the lead. A 30-yard try. The kick is in the air and good. Dogs 20, Irish 19.
I got one other thing to add that we everybody know about. Rod, would you like to tell the team?
I'm on scholarship.
Hit what would be the game winner against Notre Dame, celebrated in the locker room, letting everybody know that he's got college paid for now because of that big boot of his that's been so consistent. Last year was an all-freshman selection in the SEC. So 10 points off of 2 Mississippi State turnovers here, and it's now 31-3.
And Mississippi State's in a bad spot because Nick Fitzgerald and their offense, this is not how they're built to play catch-up football. They're built to run, go play action, play when the game is close or play from the lead. When they're down 28 points, this is not their comfort zone. And it's going to be very, very difficult for them to claw their way back in this football game, counting and trusting in their passing game only.
This defense has been swarming. Time and time again, just running to the ball as Ledbetter is able to find him that time. The homecoming for Nick Fitzgerald hasn't worked out the way he thought. Instead, the freshman Fromm, yeah, he's dialed up a lot, hasn't he? Nick Chubb had a touchdown to start the second half, and then Fromm hitting on for a touchdown reception. Defense doing their job as well. Glad you're with us here watching the SEC on ESPN. 11th ranked team in the country on top of Mississippi State, 31-3. I don't know that Bully knows that score as he's hanging out with Uga. As we check out two of the great live mascots of the game, our Progressive Pylon Cam. Start of the fourth quarter, Fitzgerald incomplete that time as he was looking for Thomas. Sony Michel just pushed a defender forward, bounced off of him, and is close to that line to make.
Why you got the shirt on, man? It's hot here.
Gibson again as he's able to fall forward and move the chains.
Physics teacher Robert Katz, a physics teacher at Norcross, was one of the finalists for Teacher of the Year at Norcross High School.
That's excellent. Lorenzo is a really great guy to visit with. Here's Gibson again. He has had a good spurt here coming in. A very nice run here by the sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama.
Well, by far the best run of the night.
This thing rolling downhill for Georgia. Second and goal. Fitzgerald to the end zone, and that is incomplete as it was batted around as J.R. Reed had coverage against Gray.
J.R. Reed plays a very vital role in this defense. He does a lot of things. He matches up man-to-man on this play and makes a nice play on the football. Sometimes he plays the deep safety. Sometimes he's up into the box on run defense. He's a very versatile defender, and he's had a big season so far for this Georgia defense.
That was Jake Reed, 12-year NFL vet. Uncle was Dale Carter, who, of course, had success in the league. Well, Fitz has hit on only one of his last 6. Third and goal here. And batted away that time by McGee.
The return of Malcolm Parrish, number 14, on the outside has given this Georgia defense some more versatility in their nickel and dime defense. This is a beautiful play by Tyreek McGee. Malcolm Parrish, their 2-year starter. This is his first game action of the season, coming back from a foot injury in August.
Here's fourth and goal now.
You better block Lorenzo Carter.
And a Georgia native, Nick Fitzgerald, trying to knock on that door. Maybe he gets some help with a flag here.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. The ball goes over and down. It's Georgia's ball, first down.
Oh, they got that one right.
I think they got them both right. It was an uncatchable pass, and it was a good play by Davin Bellamy.
So nice job by Gerald Hodges and Mark Hurls down on the field. And Steve Shaw's group did him proud right there.
He was confident looking there, but they've just asked him to do more tonight, and he has responded in a very positive way.
DeAndre Swift, more and more from the Philly kid.
Georgia approaching 400 yards of total offense. Very well balanced. 201 yards passing, 197 yards rushing right now.
Swift again. We'll be saying that for years to come.
Great running plays for the Bulldogs. They're going to milk the clock and run the football.
This was billed as such a showdown game as Mississippi State came in with a defense that was only giving up 9.3 points per game, and you know what they did to LSU last week. Georgia was so balanced in every way, and now it really sets up for what could be such an interesting run for Georgia. There is the schedule ahead. Of course, they had the signature non-conference win on the road in South Bend.
But they go on the road the next 2 weeks, and they played well on the road and got a tight win at Notre Dame. But 2 back-to-back road games in the SEC coming up after tonight.
Think about the SEC East. Folks, Kentucky is up by 10 on Florida right now, and they are showing some signs of life there. It's amazing how we find out so much once we play a season. All the talk really doesn't matter. Here's 4th and 1 now. And they'll just run it up the middle and get stopped.
That's a pride play by Mississippi State right there.
Ranked versus ranked. Of course, you get a lot of opportunities of ranked versus ranked when you play in the SEC, especially in the SEC West. This the first cross-divisional matchup between ranked SEC teams this season. There's going to be a lot of people looking at Georgia and saying, could they be the team? A nice effort from Thompson. You keep looking at Alabama and you say, where's the challenge coming? Obviously, Auburn hasn't quite looked the way people thought. LSU, damaged goods right now a bit.
Well, and we thought last week Mississippi State might be that team,
be it.
you know, and then but we knew they had to be able to do it multiple times, and they had to be able to play on the road with the same kind of efficiency as they did at home last week, and they weren't able to do that tonight. Doesn't mean they won't have a great season, but they weren't able to bring it tonight like they did a week ago. Meanwhile, Georgia will have the same challenge for the next 2 weeks. They played great tonight at home, the best they've played on both sides of the ball all season, and now they'll take their act on the road for back-to-back games in the SEC the next 2 weeks.
UCLA and Stanford is coming up next. Rod Gilmore and Mark Jones will have that. There's Kylan Hill straight ahead, carrying the pile for a first down. One of the biggest running back recruits that Mississippi State has landed in many years. Comes from about a half an hour away from Starkville in Columbus. He is going to be very, very good down the road. Didn't work out the way he wanted, but for that guy right there, Jake Fromm, all smiles. Well earned, Todd.
Absolutely. I like this kid's demeanor. I like his confidence. I like the way the team rallies around his leadership. And he started the game off 9 for 9, which can't do much better than that.
You know, he's got that get-to-work kind of attitude. Thompson with a bullet, very good throw. As they're going to be short of that goal line there, and that was Dedrick Thomas there. Dan Mullen's troops are going to fight right to the end here, final half minute. The first and goal is Thompson with a good completion to Thomas. And Hill, can he find the end zone? And he's going to be marked short. Hurry up to the line. Try to score here. No, thank you. Georgia's defense with an exclamation mark there.
Well,
that was Monty Rice with the stop.
Dan Mullen was trying to get the score, but he wasn't going to use a timeout, just trying to hurry up. And Georgia says not tonight. No touchdowns given up by the Bulldog defense.
First visit for Mississippi State here in the last 6 years, and now Georgia's won the last 10 meetings when Mississippi State has come here. Nick Chubb with a couple of touchdown runs from a couple of touchdown passes. UCLA versus Stanford is still to come here on ESPN, but now we'll get you to Adnan, Joey, and Jesse with the college football scoreboard as Georgia was impressive, 31-3.